Other games exist. If you're just going based off the video title and are curious why Monster Hunter has lost a large part of its player base, other games exist. Claire, Obscure, Expedition 33, there's Doom that just came out, and people are constantly going to play Marvel Rivals and Fortnite. There is a very big team center base around Monster Hunter, but the in-game grind is very droll when it comes to a lot of the aspects of it. If you want a summary of what I'm going to say in this video, here goes your summary. Monster Hunter Wilds is an amazing game. I think the gameplay's fun. I think it's outstanding. I think it's a phenomenal game. I think that in-game farming is worthless because people are now understanding that Monster Hunter World showed them how Capcom releases games. They don't need to in-game farm. They just kind of need to wait for the G rank of the game, or the master rank as they call it now. So when the master rank comes out, everything you have that is going to be coming with the title updates that are coming throughout the year, that'll be the new monsters and things of that variety, will all be virtually worthless because the master rank will come out. I don't like the model that modern games have nowadays. I genuinely despise it. I'm not a fan of it. I've never been a fan of the, okay, so we're going to make everything a live service game. Despite the fact that Monster Hunter is not technically a live service game, its model is based in my live service action to keep the player base and player retention high. One of my friends isn't even going to buy Monster Hunter Wilds until every single title update comes out, so he can have a bunch of stuff to do. If you look at the state of how Monster Hunter World was when it first came out, there was basically nothing to do. There was absolutely nothing. Collaborations, DLC, all this other stuff came out throughout the duration of it, and all these Arc Tempers came out. We even got a raid boss with a Cuvée Tear-Off. We got all these beautiful, amazing creatures that came out throughout the span of the game, basically doubling the creature count within the game. And then later we got Alatreon, then we got the big fatty, we got big giant dragon that came out with Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and the game became a monolith. There's so much content to do in Monster Hunter Iceborne. I am actively going back and playing Monster Hunter Iceborne, despite the fact that it feels significantly different than Wilds, because there's no content in Monster Hunter Wilds. It's just genuinely no content. I've done everything. One of my friends recently started Monster Hunter Wilds, and I was helping them in playing the game, and we got to the end of the game, and then we got him to Hunter rank 133, and I said, so what do you want to do now? He said, what is there to do? And I said, well, you can fight the big final boss, you can fight one of the 5 creatures, and that's pretty much it. And we got all the armor sets, we got most of the weapons, and he said, that it? I said, that's it, yeah. We didn't do the fastest time. We didn't try to get our time down. We didn't do that. But we played other games, like Marvel Rivals. We played Fortnite. There are so many other games. Hell, we even played For Honor. There's still other games to play out there. The fact that there's so many games and they're all vying and competing for your time feels as though when you see a dip in player count, especially when people use Steam charts, I wouldn't use the Monster Hunter Wild Steam charts at all because the game is still poorly optimized for PC. They keep unoptimizing games and making them garbage overall, so people can actively try to fix things in the game. It feels dumb to continually do that. It's as if you're constantly updating your PC for every new game that comes out. Your 3070 isn't going to cut it anymore. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to get that 4070 or maybe that 5070 to even compete with regular games. They're not making games for the modern consumer. They're making games so you can buy a console is what they're doing. It seems psychotic. Now I have Monster Hunter on the PS5 Pro. I'm happy they have crossplay on the game. It feels amazing to have crossplay. My friend was playing it on his PC. He has a 4070 and he was having a few dip issues. He had to reduce it to 30 FPS. It was a little bit of an issue there. But I have been deeply enjoying Monster Hunter Wilds. It is so fun. But there are other games. They exist. And it is going to be a big divot and downpour when you realize that, wow, I've done everything. You have. You've done everything. And I feel sad for these Monster Hunter channels and Monster Hunter content creators who thought this was going to be their bag. Same way I felt about Sparking Zero back in the day when that came out. I told everybody, I kept saying, the game isn't going to have a crazy amount of content. It's going to die off real soon. And everybody was hate spamming me in the comments saying, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're not going to play the game because you're a coward, you gave up on Dragon Ball, I hate you. And I was really confused. And then now, if you look at the state of Sparking Zero, there's no new content. It's just DLCs and new characters getting released, and the hype between the new shows that are coming out, and even the continuation of Dragon Ball Super, which is being streamlined by Toei, which will probably introduce some new creatures and new characters that people will get hype over in the game. But outside of talking about Dragon Ball and talking about that community, the Monster Hunter community deserves more. I think they deserve it in a more timely manner. I'm happy that we have the game, but it feels like we are playing the beta version of a game that we know is going to get a big expansion with Master Rank, which what everybody's waiting for. Some people are waiting to get the bigger expansion because they don't want to waste money on the base game, and they're just going to wait and see in there. And by all means, they're not missing anything if they don't buy Monster Hunter Wilds. That's the thing. You're not missing out. There's no real FOMO upon missing on Wilds right now because there's nothing there. There are 6 main creatures you can fight. You can fight Gormagala, you can fight the Arkveld, you can fight maybe a double creature, maybe. You can fight the big final boss, Artemper Raydal, and then the Jindahad. That's 6 creatures. That's pretty much all you got. That's really it. And I'm not saying that Capcom is sleazy or manipulative. I think they are adopting the modern game strategy that everyone is doing. I feel like we're 2 steps away from a battle pass in Monster Hunter. That's how close we are to figuring things out within the game. Is it disgusting? Is it hateful? Is it weird? Is it messy? A little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit messy. I don't think it's hateful. I don't think the company hates you. But I do think we have to stop basing video games on the concurrent player count. We'll do this for single player games, such as Black Myth Wukong. Everybody kept saying, nobody's playing Black Myth Wukong anymore. Nobody's playing Black Myth Wukong because it's a single player game that you beat maybe once or 4 times, maybe 1 or 3 times, and then you stop playing the game. There's no multiplayer within the game. People are still playing GTA Online, Fortnite, games that have active multiplayer because of a simple enough mechanic in the game where it doesn't feel over claustrophobic. With Monster Hunter, it is still a very, despite the amazing success, it is still a very niche market within the Monster Hunter community to get that. Even if it has 10 million sales, it's still a niche market. Still a niche market. It's not competing with the Call of Duties. It's not competing with the Fortnites, which always have a concurrent player base of 100,000 on Steam at all points of the day. It always has that. So that is what's going on here. I do not like seeing all these Monster Hunter content creators continually saying, well, I think the game is dying actually because X, Y, and Z, and I think that we need more stuff. It will come. I want to point this out. You can do all the community complaints you want, but Capcom released this game knowing what it lacked. Capcom released the game knowing what it didn't have, so you would continually buy and play the game and talk to them. And it seems like it's artificial community interactions. That's all it is. Artificial community interactions. Capcom knows how to make a beautiful game. They know how to make it. Capcom knows. They know how to make a beautiful game. They have made amazing games. They did the same garbage of Street Fighter 6 or Street Fighter 5, where everyone started off with about 8 characters. They did the same garbage. They always do the same garbage over and over again. Then they slowly release characters. Long gone is the days of yore when you could actively unlock things in the game by actually playing it. You now have to wait for the developers to either patch it in because they now know they don't have to have this incredibly long, lengthy development cycle to make a game. They can make you wait on a game and make you beg for more content. And that's what everybody's doing. They're wanting more. People love Monster Hunter. It's an amazing game. It's beautiful. It's outstanding. The locale is beautiful. It's poorly optimized on PC. What they should do is pay attention to Dragon's Dogma 2. What they should do is pay attention to their other games, because what happens all the time, if a game is not successful, if a game isn't getting the splendor and money that's bringing it in, they will completely sidewind the game when the game could have been beautiful. They could have fixed Exoprimal. They could have fixed Dragon's Dogma 2, but they're going to push those to the wayside in order for the favorable Monster Hunter, which is a beautiful game, but it's not getting the attention we crave. Anyways, that's all I got to say about this. Monster Hunter is not dying. I imagine we're just in the cocoon stage before it turns into a beautiful butterfly. That's all that's happening. Anyways, bye. Oh, sorry. Wait, nope. Hold on now. Stop right there. Stop. Don't forget to subscribe. I always forget to say this. I continually forget to say people subscribe. And I stream Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. EST. Anyways, enjoy my outro. Bye.
I'm your Nick and Night, be my Laurel, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.